Hello, and welcome to MVAO 101, Auto Operator Operator Tools. This is Part 3. MVAO 101 is the first in an 8-part series of courses covering MainView Auto Operator. In this session, we'll be discussing Operator Control Displays, or OCDs. OCDs are also known as Operator Workstations. AutoOPERATOR provides several different OCDs, and they're broken out into the following areas. We have OCDs for ZOS, for network resources, IMS, CICS, and MQ. Different OCDs are delivered with each of the AO components that are licensed. So for instance, if you license AutoOPERATOR for CICS, then you'll be provided with OCDs that allow you to control CICS resources. The OCDs are designed to be used by operations so they can do some rudimentary work before contacting the more technical systems staff. The OCDs are full screen displays, and they're equivalent to getting the output from an MVS command in the system log, but the advantage of using the OCD is that it's scrollable and it isn't cluttered with other MVS messages. The OCDs allow you to issue single line commands to change the status or take actions against resources, and we also have the ability to use the 3-character sysprog commands as line commands to take actions as well. Each OCD requires that the appropriate AO component is licensed. So if I want access to the IMS OCDs, I need to have a license for AutoOPERATOR for IMS. So each of the AO components that are licensed has a product transfer that will take you to the menu for the OCDs for that solution. They're listed here. ZOS and VTAM displays are under MAO, which is AutoOPERATOR from MVS or ZOS, CAO for CICS OCDs, IAO for IMS displays, and QAO for MQ OCDs. And each of the OCDs itself within the different components has a direct transfer as well. So if I want to look at the DASD display in the ZOS OCD, I would type in MAO semicolon DASD. Here we see the menu for the ZOS OCDs. As you can see, they're ordered by numbers, and you would select them by placing the appropriate number on the option field at the top. We also provide these displays in what we call Windows mode, which is a more current architecture that we use within the MainView suite of products. You can see that the same options are listed and are available at the bottom left, and the way you would navigate in this window at the bottom is you would place your cursor on the entry you're interested in and press enter, and you'll be transferred to the appropriate display. AutoOPERATOR delivers several OCDs that help you manage VTAM resources. We have OCDs for major nodes, applications, CDRMs, lines, and terminals. In these OCDs, you have the ability to activate, inactivate, and display resources using line commands. This is an example of the VTAM Major Nodes OCD. You can see on this display we list all the various node names, and then we also give you the type of node that it is. We also have the ability here to issue line commands to activate, inactivate, force, display, and we also can expand the resource to see more information. Here we see the OCD for operator requests in the Windows mode. We can take several actions against these WTORs. We can cancel them, we can DOM them, or we can reply to them using line commands. This is an example of the OCD for NQs in the system. At the top, you'll notice that we show you who the holder is, as well as who the waiter is for the resource, and what system they're on, as well as the resource name itself. There are several different actions we can take on this display to filter the results, and I've listed them here at the bottom. So we can show NQs for sysdsn or for specific batch jobs. We can sort the display by the major queue or look at specific types of NQs. We can look at reserves, or we can look at all the conflicts. We can set it into auto refresh, or we can change the systems that we want to collect the data from. The auto operator for ZOS tape OCD gives you a nice and easy to use interface for managing your tape drives. We provide you with line commands that allow you to vary online and offline your devices. We also provide an unload command for you. There are additional informational commands you can issue against your devices. If you use the USI line command, you will see who's got the device allocated, and the UCB command will display the address of the control unit. There are also primary commands that allow you to set filters to view only the online or offline devices mounted, allocated, so on and so forth. The DASD OCD gives you a panel interface for managing your DASD devices. There are line commands like with tape to vary the devices online and offline or to unload them. We also have the ability to change the mount attributes of the device using the MPR, MPU, and MST commands. There are informational commands to see who has the device allocated, as well as to see available free space with the SPA line command. We also, like with the tape, can go through and we can filter the data looking at only the online or offline devices. Maybe we only want to see the devices that are in use, so on and so forth, which can be very helpful when you have thousands of devices. Here we see an example of the DASD operator control display. The devices are listed by address and show you the corresponding volume and device type, as well as the number of users actively using that device. In the bottom right is a list of the various filters that you can issue on the command line to limit the display to only the devices you're looking at. The auto operator for ZOS address space OCD provides you with a display of all your active address spaces. It's very similar to the SDSF display active command. The address space OCD can be sorted by any column, and it does provide you with some basic exception monitoring. The auto operator for ZOS address space OCD provides a number of different actions that you can take as line commands. You can cancel jobs, you can force a job, you can change the performance of a job, you can issue just purge commands, you can issue several different sysprog commands to display the TIOT, you can monitor the job to get some sampling for it, you can go ahead and display the current step and status information, and you can show the SRM resource consumption. You can set some basic filters in this display to only show jobs, started tasks, or TSO users. The MVS System Status OCD provides you with a graphical performance view of a set of jobs that you define, as well as some high-level performance indicators for the system, including I/O rates, CPU usage, paging, and a couple other things. It provides you with a summary of the number of address spaces of each type that are active in the system, and it provides you with a list of the alerts that are currently outstanding. Here's an example of the MVS Status OCD. At the top, we provide you with some general information, including the number of units and the various types of address spaces that are active in the system. On the left, we can provide a list of job names that we want to monitor for CPU and I/O activity. And then over on the right, we can set up thresholds for various resources, and then we can graph them below or above those thresholds as appropriate. At the bottom of the display, we see some outstanding alerts that give us a high-level view of what's happening in our system. This is the menu for the CICS OCDs. We have an entry here to show the status of the CICS systems, as well as options to control various DB control resources. This is an example of the CICS workstation menu in the Windows mode. Just like we saw earlier, the way you would navigate this is place your cursor on the entries and place enter, and you'll be transferred to the appropriate display. The CICS Status OCD provides some nice capabilities for managing CICS resources. If you use the PF5 command in the command area at the top of the screen, you can toggle between displaying the alerts or the CICS tasks. For the CICS tasks, when they're displayed, you have several different options to control those tasks. You can cancel them. You can purge them, you can kill them. There are a few different options available beyond that. You also can change the task dispatch and priority. If you have MainView for CICS also installed, when you place your cursor on the various resources and hit the expand button, you will go ahead and transfer to the MainView for CICS display relevant to that resource. This is an example of the AutoOPERATOR for IMS OCDs menu in the full screen mode. And here we see the equivalent menu in the Windows mode. Now let's take a closer look at some of these displays. The IMS Status OCD provides the overall health of your IMS regions. It provides status information about the number of MPPs, BMPs, IFPs, DBTs, and DB2 connections, as well as providing the overall view of the CPU usage in the environment, broken out by the MVS system, as well as by the IMS subsystem. It also shows you the largest percent user of IMSQ datasets. If you have MainView for IMS installed, it will display the top 3 response monitors that have been defined. And there's also an area for your alerts. If you use the PF5 or expand key, it will provide you with detailed messages for those alerts. And you can use the profile command to set filters to limit the display. The IMS Network OCD shows you information about VTAM lines, VTAM nodes, L terms, and ISC links. This OCD provides you with line commands to allow you to stop and start resources, as well as to vary them in inactive. If you use the X on and X off primary commands, you can toggle on the display of resources that are stopped, P-stopped, or in purge status. The IMS DB Control OCD provides you with the ability to control your databases. There are several different line commands that are provided to you, including options to start and stop resources, you can DBR or lock resources, and many others. If you want to toggle on and off exceptions, you can use the X on or X off primary commands to show your stopped, locked, and in error databases. This is an example of the IMS database OCD. To take actions against the databases, you would simply issue the line command to the left of the database entry, and it'll take the action that you requested. There are many different line commands available to you. They're listed at the top of the screen here. The IMS Transaction OCD allows you to control your IMS transactions. It will also display your fastpath routing codes related to those transactions. Line commands that are available include stop, start, and lock, although there are many more. If you want to toggle on and off the exceptions, you can do so using the X on or X off commands, and that will show you stopped, locked, purging, and suspended transactions that may be in error. The IMS Programs OCD allows you to take actions to control your IMS programs. You can start, stop, and lock programs, and you can toggle on the display of exceptions using the X on and X off primary commands. Using those commands will display programs that have been stopped or locked, as well as databases that have been stopped. The IMS Regions OCD allows you to take actions against the region as a whole. It will display some status information, including the number of MPPs, BMPs, IFPs, and DBTs, as well as the DB2 connection status. The IMS Regions OCD will display the active message regions and provide you with a set of one-character line commands that you can issue, including stop, abdump, cancel, and stop Wi-Fi. The MQ OCD looks like this, and here we can see a high-level overview of our MQ queue managers and the activity that's occurring within those queue managers. Within the MQOCD, we can set filters to limit the display based on the occurrence of events within the queue managers. Here we list a number of different options you can specify. I'm not going to go through all these, but they are in the documentation if you wish to look at them more closely. This concludes MVAO 101 Part 3.